Mr Chairman.
The Honourable Paula Bennett.
Mr Chairman, just a response to a couple of things. So one is that certainly 75% of submitters, in response to the member, so 75% of submitters supported the 1 for 2 going. In general, what we certainly got from business was that they wanted certainty. Was the most important thing, and most definitely their ideal was that it was phased out over time. For all, and it was kind of 3 years and beyond, to be quite honest. So from their perspective, it gave them time to budget. It meant that they could really look longer term, and for a lot of them, because we did look at all the options, to be quite frank. So we looked, literally, I think I had 3 that I looked at really carefully, and so one was just all over in one shot to 100%. Others was phasing in over 2 years, and then there was the 3-year option. The biggest, so businesses were certainly in the 3-year. And the biggest reason that we went as we did was probably in line with dairy, to be quite honest. So dairy farmers do take a percentage of cost, one because of their transport and electricity usage, and also because of Fonterra. So Fonterra's still got a couple of coal drying units in the South Island in particular that really do make them one of the biggest business emitters, actually, and they would pass that cost, I'm sure, probably on to farmers, and so we wanted to be considerate of that at this time when we can see so many under so much financial pressure. We didn't want to be putting undue pressure on them in addition to it. The other thing was to the member earlier who asked a couple of questions as well around the price caps and a price floor. So certainly the advice I've had on kind of the price floor, if you like, was that it is highly, highly unlikely that the price will go down now again. And that is because of kind of the markets and how many are out there and the different prices that are going on. The other side of what we've had is the kind of questions that the member had on when will we look at the cap again, when will we look at a whole lot of other measures. To be quite frank, a lot of that is about when the world starts coming a bit more on board. So at the moment, as members know, you know, we've only got a few countries, if you like, that have got an ETS, and some different states in America and that sort of thing. What I will say was when I was in New York for the signing of the Paris Agreement, there was a lot of talk about the emission trading schemes, what it meant, the lessons that they learnt from ours. I mean, members in this House and in this debate have raised that ours ain't perfect, and there's certainly been, so, you know, when the price has been so low that it's made actually no difference, to be quite fair. So we have learnt some lessons. We've learnt lessons in what we'll accept as units. We've learnt some lessons, and we'll take a hit for that, I suppose, in this debate. But at the end of the day, A, we won't make them again, and B, I hope we can pass on some of those learnings to other countries that are now seriously looking at introducing an ETS. But while you have businesses that are seriously trade exposed, I must admit, before I started learning about this, I must admit, you know, I sort of was in one sort of boat of, well, you know, you wear the cost of what you do and you make decisions like that. But that argument of some of our businesses may not be perfect, but actually the way they produce some of their goods is more efficient and less emission polluting than some of their counterparts overseas, and simply closing them down, putting so much cost on them that they close down here, would mean that doesn't mean that we're not going to have those goods still manufactured, but just actually manufactured in a less healthy way, if you like, or a more polluted way overseas, and actually do more damage to our planet. So I want to encourage other countries to look at an ETS. I want them to learn from some of the things that have happened as we've progressed it, and it started under Labour, and I'm sure the architect is not here right now, but would have a look and go, there's things you'd do differently. But we need to encourage other countries to equally take this really important step.